Hey everybody, this is Tony and I'm here today with a special guest, none other than Miss Fynesse Banks. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Now, of course, Fynesse, you are in the music world, but for people who don't know you just yet, can you talk a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. My name is Fynesse Banks, as you all know. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I moved out here to Florida to attend Full Sail University, graduated a couple months ago.
Oh,
Um, I produce music from mostly all genres, from classical to hip hop, R&B, yada yada yada. Basically all around, everywhere around. Yeah.
okay, okay. Now I know you graduated from Full Sail, like you just said, so you have to be, one of the best to come out of Full Sail because they don't play over there. My cousin just graduated from there, I think last year.
Really?
Yeah, in the film arena.
Oh, that's
But
another hard one.
yeah, yeah. So I know they don't play. So I know you have to be some serious business. But talk to me about producing and songwriting. What made you want to go into producing as opposed to being something out in the front or like artist?
Well, producing, I love arrangements. I'll say that. And since I especially came from a classical background, like I played the piano, violin, and I'm used to listening in on so many instruments and listening to what's doing what and the organization, and one instrument can be heard one time in a song and you won't hear it again. It's just that part that just sets everything like in awe.
Right.
And like hearing that, and not even just classical, like a lot of R&B songs, old school R&B, I listen to a lot, and it's always stuck with me. And I have parents that come from music backgrounds.
Okay.
My father was a DJ, mom was in classical music and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's basically in my blood, really. um and far as in being an artist, I can't really pitch a tune, but I'm not going to tell anybody else about
Okay.
that.
Okay. So are your parents the people who inspired you in a way to really come into a professional career in music?
Definitely, definitely. They impacted me a lot. There are artists that I see on TV and listen to that inspire me, but the ones that really impacted me into doing this are my parents. Yeah.
Mm, okay, that makes sense. So how
Mhm.
long have you been professionally doing music?
Professionally, I want to say about 6 years.
Okay. Okay.
6 years, and I started actually releasing music last year. Yeah,
Hmm.
it came out last year. Um, and that's when I started releasing music, and I'm still releasing music now. Things
Right.
are
Right. Yeah. So you got. I know you have the single "Worth It" and "Lost" that you produced on as well.
Yes, yes.
But take me through the journey for you, and how it has been for you. I know sometimes for women it can be different than it can for a male in the industry. So take me on how it has been for you through the journey thus far.
Well, it's been a pretty steady journey. Nothing too drastic has impacted me in a negative note.
Oh,
But there are times where you talk with another producer, where I talk to another producer or an artist, and they kind of give me that vibe, like, oh, she probably don't know what she's doing. Or,
right.
yeah, it's always those moments, and just gotta push forward from it because I know I'm good.
Right. Right.
So I just go about my business. If I can't get you, I can get someone else that's willing to work. That's kind of how I do business, basically.
Okay. Does any of those kind of things, ever discourage you, and even for a minute, when you see that kind of thing happening or feel the vibe, because you can feel people's energy, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so
Mhm.
does that ever discourage you even for a minute, even if it's not for a while?
I feel that when anyone is in a situation like that, there is like that point of discouragement, even a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's also like you have to feel and know that within yourself, you are capable of doing anything, and you are capable of doing better than those who you're talking to. Everyone has, I learned to build my confidence, and when I'm talking to people, it's like if it's a no, it's a no. Move on.
Right.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are those moments where you get discouraged, but it's gonna happen. You get more no's than yeses.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Get way more no's than yes.
That is true. But I think even for me, I go through the same thing, even with doing interviews and different things like that. You might see somebody say no today because of one reason, and then they might do an interview with somebody else, but it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what can you do besides move on? I
Mm-hmm.
just told somebody that the other day. It's like they said, I got really discouraged because this many people canceled on me, and they declined me. And I said, well, it's 7 billion people in the world, so you still have a lot more to go. So
Yep.
just make it
Exactly.
happen. That's it.
It's all about finding the right people to link with you, because
Yes.
everyone's going to have the same mindset as you, or have the same vision as you. So it's like you you scout. You got to look for people. You have to communicate with people and see who's on that same level with you. It's a lot that you got to go through for
Yeah.
that.
True.
But it's worth it in the end. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. I could tell though. I know that there are sometimes people in ugly situations, but I could tell right now just from talking to you that you have a beautiful spirit about yourself. So
Thank
I'm
you.
sure that you will be just fine no matter what.
Thank you.
But take me through your process, or how do you go about processing and producing actual music?
Well, there's many different ways that it can happen. So, the other day I went live on Instagram, and I was telling the people on there, I was saying that a lot of the times when I'm producing, my mind is blank. And that's the
Right.
best time for me to produce most of the time. Because when your mind is blank, you're not overthinking anything, and you're not thinking, oh, maybe this shouldn't go there. You lose your confidence if you have thoughts in your mind, because then one thought goes in your mind, then other thoughts go, and then it just goes scramble from there.
That's right.
So for me, if my mind is blank and I just have a blank canvas, it's basically like drawing art. Basically,
Okay.
you're arranging things, you're moving things around, adding color, you're adding saturation, you're adding different elements to your vision
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
just something beautiful. That's the whole point of me doing that. And then there are times where I would probably wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and have an idea and jot it down. It just depends on the day, really.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Does songwriting go the same way for you?
Songwriting does. I started um really getting into songwriting. I used to do a lot of poetry.
Okay.
Um, Starting out young, probably I want to say about 10 years old.
Mm,
Um, and I just always kept writing and writing, and then I started writing songs and stuff like that, coming up with melodies, and it became fun. So I was like, why not? Just add it on to what the things I can do. Add it on to the million other things I can do.
that's right. That's right. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of the money is in songwriting. Even when artists is not getting paid, that songwriter is, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
as long as you handle the business correctly, I'll say.
That's right.
But
Yep. It's all about that.
right, right. But you said you were influenced by classical music a lot. Is that a specific genre that you lean more towards now that you start doing things professionally, or is there one specific genre you lean towards at all?
Well, generally, I don't like to put myself in a box, if
Okay.
I may say that. I
Sure.
like to think of it as I have these genres that I have worked in. I can add it on to the other ones that I'm interested in, because I can one day come up with what, like an EDM track or something like that.
Yeah.
I like to experiment with a lot of things, and that's why when I'm working with artists, I'm like, uh, they can be doing anything or wanted to do anything genre wise, and I'm just like, here you go, I can do that. I can do that. The classical music, that's more, you can hear in a couple of my songs, and um guaranteed future tracks. But
Right.
I also do film scores and stuff like that on the side, to um immerse myself more into the classical realm, because I do love classical music.
Right.
And it's always something that's felt like home to me,
Hmm.
because I've been doing it for a while. And yeah, so, but more classical music, it's more into the film scoring.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do have elements in songs that I do where I have certain elements, so like arrangement and my dynamics and things that I use in my commercial music, basically, that come from the classical realm.
Right, right. I asked that though because I understand that in a way. I didn't grow up on classical in my house. We grew up on gospel and R&B and stuff like that. But when I went to school, I think it was in middle school. I joined the orchestra. At that time, I knew nothing about the orchestra though. The music teacher, she just said, she looked at me and she said, "Can you play this?" And it was the upright bass. And I said, "Yeah." I knew nothing about it. I couldn't even play a note. So she said, "Okay, you'll be my new bass player," because she didn't have that many. She only had like one other one.
Oh,
And she had people playing the cello, she had people playing the violin, and then of course she would play the piano. So I just agreed, and I didn't know what I was doing. But by the end of that school year, she had trained us so till I was like one of the best people that she had.
that's
Um,
great.
but we would play Bach and Beethoven and different things like that. So of course I know about classical music, but
That's
I
cool.
learned about that then. So I was like, okay, because we would play one song, beginning Bach, and I would have to lead that song off the bass.
Yeah.
It was like, uh-oh, because the teacher that I had, her name was Miss Cooper. She was a black lady,
Mhm.
but she did not play. She was very particular on what she wanted you to do, and as
Mhm.
soon as she would start off, and I didn't come in with that beginning note, she would look around like, okay, what's going on?
Yep.
So it is a wonderful genre though to just really sit and listen to and read about though.
It
So I
is.
respect that a lot.
Yes, and that's actually kind of how orchestra went for me. Um, I listened to classical music on my own, but then I went to school, and my teacher, there were a lot of people in the violin section, but he needed a first chair.
Okay.
So we were all playing, and I was the type to like stay a little after to practice and stuff. And I haven't like played the violin before attending the class. I was playing piano,
Hmm.
and I want to say it took me approximately, I want to say 7 days to learn the violin.
Wow.
I believe so. Yes, the violin and how to do the different bowings and stuff like that. It took me 7 days, and I forgot what song it was that I played for him. I think it was a Beethoven song, and he was like, "You're it. Here you go. This is your chair. You have a go."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's awesome though that you learned it so fast. I couldn't do it that fast though. I
I
think
mean,
it
that's
took me
the
more.
upright bass. That the bass, it looks easy because it's something that you do standing up, and
Yeah.
but a lot of people see it, but to actually do it, it's just like it's not. I wouldn't be. I tried. I tried. I
I
tried
mean,
everything.
now I probably couldn't because I haven't done it in so long. But then she taught us to, read actual music, of course, because it was a music class.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we learned how to do that, read the notes, and then actually play the instrument as well. So it was like, it was really like an
Mhm.
outer experience because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Some of
Yeah.
those other people had been in her chorus class or they had been in different music, things because some of them were a little older than me.
Mhm.
But for me, that was brand new. So I think it took me maybe like a month though, or
That's
somewhere around there.
so it takes people a while to like learn how to read music, especially when you're in orchestra. You gotta sight read fast.
Yes, yes,
Gotta sight read so fast. And it was hard for me when I started out because I just played by ear. So they would play a song and I would just listen to it and just find where the notes are. That's how I started out. But they were like, no, you have to learn how to do
yeah.
this, that, learn when to play, when to stop, how long you have to stop. I was like, oh my God.
Yes,
Oh my goodness.
it was a journey to learn all that stuff, especially the rest, the quarter notes, the this, the that.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, is this much that goes into music? Okay.
A lot. It's a
the
lot.
it was definitely a lot, but I was thankful for the experience and the journey because it's like, wow, who knew?
Hmm.
And that next year I ended up taking a piano class from the same teacher, so then I ended up learning how to do the piano. I lost some of that now though, so I don't ask me to play. But I I really wish that I would have held on to it because I started singing in the choir at church later on, in like a few years ago. But playing by ear and listening to things by ear, would really help me now because I was always hard on trying to pick out my note. I think everybody else was like already there, and I was like, oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that stuff would have really helped me out right now. But who are some of the artists that you might want to work with in the future or even right now?
Oh boy. Where do I start? There's so many. There's so many. I always wanted to do a track, and don't judge me on this, but I always wanted to
Okay.
do a track with Method Man because
Okay.
I love Method Man. Um, I want to do one with Rihanna because why not?
Right.
I love
Right.
her. um, let's see. It's I'm trying to pick a few and not feel bad about it later. Um, of course, I would love to do a track with Beyonce. That would be an
Yes.
honor to
Yes.
do that. Um, let's see. Let's see. This Chris Brown, Drake.
Yeah.
Um, oof. I'm really trying because after this, I'm gonna be like, listen, I've missed this person. I should have said this one.
Exactly. Exactly.
But honestly, if I were to generally, but I just want to work with anyone that as much as I can,
Okay.
and it it's just from all genres. It doesn't even have to be commercial music. It can be like some subgenre that someone doesn't even know about. It's just being able to create with minds that have people that have the same mindset and
Yes. Yes.
working with people and making art. That's basically how I see it. There are plenty of people commercially that I would love to work with, but honestly, I'm always willing to work with anyone because that's it's exciting to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. It
it,
is. It is.
it's very exciting, especially when you have someone that wants to really create and find out what they can do with something that they haven't done before. I like to bring people out their box a lot
Yeah.
and see what we can do with what we have and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at with.
That makes sense though. I understand that. So what is next for you? I know that you're going to be releasing some new music soon. But what else can we expect from you? And do we have any dates for the new music?
Hmm. I can't give out dates yet,
Okay. Okay.
but I can say that there is a very special song coming out really soon,
Okay.
really soon, and maybe a couple albums,
Okay.
maybe.
All right. All right.
there's a lot of there's a lot of surprises this year to make up for 2020 because
Yes.
2020 there was a lot of things that were supposed to be planned and it didn't go as planned because 2020 was a year that I don't even want to speak about anymore. So 2021 is definitely going to make up for that. There's going to be a lot of releases this year, a lot of surprises. I'm going to be showing my face more because I
Right.
know people have been bugging me saying, "Hey, where are you?" I'm here. I'll be there. I'll be here. So yeah, that's that. 2021 is going to be a big year for Miss Fynesse Banks.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, you have to, promote yourself in a way, because if you don't, nobody else will. I know you have a team which is helping you, which is a great thing. But people have to see you in order to know who you are. They just hear your name all the time. It's almost like Kelly Price in the beginning when she used to write.
Yeah.
I know the voice, but I never seen her.
I've never seen her. I know.
But
And I'm definitely working on that. There's a lot of things mentally that I have to right because there's a lot of things and um discouragement that I have. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
usually don't speak much about it. But there's a lot. But I will be working on myself, working on my music to help therapeutically, and you guys will be getting to see me a lot more. I promise you.
well,
I
cool.
promise you.
Well, just let people know where they can find you on all your social media sites and websites or anything you might have.
Of course. So on Instagram, it's Fynesse_Banks. You will see it straight up there, probably with the first three letters. F, and it's FYNESSE_Banks, BANKS. I'm also on Loom. Um, and that's Fynesse Banks as well. Basically, Fynesse Banks is everywhere. You can Google me and you'll find everything.
Well, I definitely appreciate you and thank you for doing this and learning some more about you, of course, too. So thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me come on and speak my mind and having fun with
Yes,
someone.
yes, of course.